Destiny 2 beta has nearly reached its conclusion. So it's time to share our feedback and impressions. PvE I thought was awesome. I'm going to be putting that in a separate video in Destiny the Show later this week so we can focus entirely on that juicy PvP today. Well, hello! Today I brought out one of my favorite matches from the beta. 27 kills. This one was a rock-solid sort of stars-aligned moment. Well, Destiny 2, PvP, what do I think? This is a hard one for me. I've had to re-record this video a couple of times because, gosh, there's some things I really like, and some things I don't. And underneath all of this is like, something just feels off. Now, for the most part, I had a really good time. I think there are a lot of positive steps in the right direction. The smaller map size, the more symmetrical map. This definitely felt more like, and I'm talking specifically about Control, by the way. Countdown I'm going to leave out, purely because I solo queued most of my matches this week, and I played, just for reference for you guys, about 40 games of PvP or so from, yeah, the whole spectrum of Endless Veil matches. Played Titan, Hunter, and my favorite, the Dawnblade. So I solo queued a bunch. Countdown, not my favorite, not going to be my game type. I'm not saying it's a bad game type, I just didn't have teammates to play with. Control. The new Control, stuff I liked before I get into the stuff that I didn't like. First of all, I love the map size. It's really tight, it's really small. This is a fast-paced map, and I enjoyed how primary v primary the gameplay felt. Quite frankly, I really enjoyed the fact that, yes, while we all have primaries, you're not getting bum rushed like you do in Destiny 1 currently with people trying to hit you with sticky grenades or abilities. The ability spam is at an all-time low. But this gets complicated in the sense that, is the ability spam at an all-time low because the respawn times for our abilities are so long, and I truly mean a really long time. In this match, I'm going to get my super at like the 55% marker because I'm just going off. But I've played games with some friends this week where they're like, yeah, I didn't even get a super. Just barely got it in the last minute or so. So some of the timers for the abilities just feel off. Part of me loves the fact that when you throw a grenade, you really have to think strategically because you know you're not going to be getting another one for like another minute. And part of me also goes, is this really Destiny? You know, Destiny isn't just a run-of-the-mill looter shooter. It's the fact that your characters have abilities. And if we're not really showcasing those abilities, is it still the same thing? Obviously, it's a fine line between balance here. I love the way heavy ammo operates. Positive change across the board. This is fantastic. I love that shotguns, fusion rifles, snipers, they're all relegated into this position now, and that it shows up on the map. You know the timings, everybody can see it, and you force yourself or your team to try and engage upon the enemies. Like if you can steal your enemies heavy, just like in Halo, like rocks up in 30 seconds. If you can take that, matters big time. Healing Rift and Empowering Rift, what I just threw down, I don't think that has a place in PvP. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel like it's an egregious or a terrible offender. It just doesn't feel to me like it should have a place here. Very teamwork oriented and heavily positioning based. I got a lot of complaints this week, at least through Twitter, people saying I do not like how team shot heavy it is. It is very team shot heavy, at least for Endless Veil, and I think part of that is the product of the map. To take the B point, you literally only have two sight lines you can advance upon. The first being the tight corridor in the middle, and the second is the outside ring. And that outer ring, that's my favorite place to play, these longer sight lines. But the inner circle, when you get into really close range encounters, something just feels awkward when I see players having like triple melee fights. It is hilarious. Biggest gripe with this map for me, or at least with the beta. Biggest one. Spawn flipping. The spawn flips way too easily on Endless Veil, or at least this Control game type. It is such a chore to have to go through what I'm going through right now. The spawn, and I'm sure you guys experienced it this week, flips like nobody's business. If you barely cross the halfway point, boom, they can spawn behind you and they'll take the C hill or the A hill. And that becomes such a chore. Like, this is not fun, this sort of maintenance to try and hold your side. I mean, you're constantly flipping back and forth just because somebody stepped a little bit too far. And I don't know if it's because this is just a beta spawning system or what, but that is the most annoying thing I found during my matches on Endless Veil. I found that I was trading far less. I found that in gunfights, you still will have trades, but it's way less than Destiny 1. Oftentimes, if I outshot the opponent, I would win. If I outpositioned the opponent, I would win. The team shot thing, I don't really know how to address, because I remember when Halo 4 came out and I was YouTubing at that time, everybody for the first 3 weeks was like, I can't stand how team shot heavy this is. You really can't win 2v1s. Is that a product of this just being new? Us not having the full set of gear and arsenal that will have the full release? Or is this indicative of something even weirder where, okay, so the respawn time when your health regen or your shield regen starts up again is only about a half a second longer than it was in Destiny 1. Dotto did a comparison video about it in his impressions. But for whatever reason, it feels really slow. When your health fully depletes or your shield goes down, I don't know why it feels so much longer than Destiny 1. I know it's only about a half-second difference on like a max recovery hunter, but like, it feels long. Tell me if I'm crazy in the comment section below, but this map is probably not the best indication, right? It becomes very standoffish. Like I said, 2 main lanes to disrupt traffic, and then of course you can take the outer side to flank like these players are now. I like it, but it's not the sweet spot. That's the best way I can describe it is, if this is what the final game is going to feel like, I don't know. I don't know. I can only hope that we can go with what they've been saying, which, hey, this was a tech test. This build is 2 months old, and a lot of your feedback is things we internally have landed on as well. So I think we're going to get faster respawn or recharge timers for everything across the board. Weapon-wise, I thought the hand cannons felt sweet. Like, you can hip fire them way better. In-air accuracy is fantastic. I love the way the guns feel. Now, the recoil on the SMGs is pretty hard to control, and I guess that's part of it. But I really, like, something super nice is the lack of ability spam. But at the same time, we're not at that balance point where it feels like Destiny to me. And around this whole, like, talk off is, oh my gosh, PvE, the strike was awesome, the campaign was awesome, like the mission, but the ability recharge times are way too long for PvE. Period. Period. Learn how to separate the two, Bungie. Separate the two. I like primary v primary, and I do get worried if we are going to start increasing ability timers, how long before we get back into that dangerous late D1 balance, which is just ability spam, right? But at the same time, too, PvE should not suffer. And I think we've seen in the beta, if this is indicative of the final build, which it's not, but it's sort of a hint at it, that their emphasis on a more competitive PvP sandbox and those longer ability recharge times has definitely negatively impacted PvE. Now, this week at Bungie said, hey, we're going to be dropping more heavy ammo and we're going to have armor that's going to help you with blah, blah, blah. So it sounds like they maybe are toying with the idea of independent balancing of PvP and PvE. Just go that route, Bungie. Just go that route. Overall, I like it, but I cannot just blind endorse it and go, this feels 100% better. Something just feels a little off. So I enjoyed my time with the beta, but I'd love to hear what you guys thought about PvP this last week. Give me the full details down in the comments section below. Thanks so much for the support. The last 2 weeks, we've had some serious view counts and a lot of new subs onto the channel. Have an excellent rest of your evening, and I will talk with you next time.